Are you overwhelmed by the scouting system in FM or don't want to spend hours setting up a complicated scouting network? Don't worry, I'll show you 3 easy methods to find players for your team. One of them even lets your staff find your players for you. No setup required. Hey everybody, my name is Coach Rohan, and in this video I'll be showing you 3 simple methods for scouting in FM, using staff suggestions, searching players manually, and setting up some basic recruitment focuses. So stick around to the end of the video to see which method suits you best. Now the first scouting method we'll look at is using staff recommendations. With this method, you don't have to set up a scouting network or even look for the players yourself. Your staff, specifically your director of football, will instantly give you a list of suggestions. You just have to pick your target. I've loaded up my personal save with Darby to show you this method in action. Now you might think that we're going to the scouting screen, but we're actually going to the transfer screen. From here, you can open up the Director of Football menu and click on Suggest Transfer Targets. This opens up a screen where we can specify which kind of transfer we want to make. A regular transfer, a loan transfer, a transfer for a player whose contract is running out, or a free transfer. Once we know what kind of transfer we want to make, we can select a position on the field. For this example, let's look for a striker. Now we can even specify what kind of role we're looking for. You can of course leave it on all roles, but I would suggest narrowing it down to the role that you're using in your tactic. With that selected, all you have to do is click on Suggest, and bam! Our Director of Football has selected 3 players for us to look at. These players and any other recent transfer suggestions can be found under the Transfer Target screen. We can review these players ourselves. Let's look at Fred Navarro. We can see that with no further information, we only get estimations of what his attributes are. Now this gives us a general idea of what kind of player he is, but we can get a more detailed report. To do this, open up the Reports menu and select either Scout Player or Fully Scout Player. Now the Scout Player option gives you a bit more detail and is finished within a week. The Fully Scout Player gives you all the information that you might need, but takes a little bit longer. Once you get your reports back into your inbox, then you can make a decision if you want to sign this player. Now it is of course possible that you don't have a Director of Football at your club. Don't worry, this method still works for you. I've loaded up a quick save with York in the 5th tier of England to show you. If you don't have a Director of Football, the steps to get your transfer suggestions are still the same. It's your assistant manager that's gonna be doing the recommendations. So what's so great about this method? It takes no effort and you instantly get your list of recommendations. The downside, however, is that you only get 3 recommendations for a position at a time, so the pool of players you're looking at is quite limited. So if you want to look at a wider range of players, this next method is for you. The second way of finding players is searching players manually. Now you might say, wait, that sounds like effort. Slow down. Manually searching for players can be as easy as you want it to be. Let's take a look. Now to search for players manually, you want to select Scouting and then go to Players. This opens up a list of all the players known to your club. Now you might think, wait a minute, these aren't all the players, where's, I don't know, Haaland? Well, that's because the list is filtered in 2 ways. The players you can look at are determined by your scouting range. You can increase or decrease this range by selecting one of the available options. But watch out! Increasing the range will actually cost you money and will be deducted from your transfer budget. So before you go scouting the world, make sure you can actually afford it. Secondly, the list only shows you players who are interested in joining your club. You can change this by clicking on the cogwheel next to Interested In and selecting the level of interest the player would have to be in joining your club to appear on the list. You could turn it off completely, but I would advise against it. No real point at looking at players that don't want to join. Now on to actually looking for players. The first step is to narrow down this big list to what we're actually looking for. To do this, click on New Search. In this screen, we can set filters to only look at a certain type of player. We can look at a position, a role, age ranges, whether the player is transfer listed or loan listed, their contract status, a certain set of attributes or any other additional conditions. Now all these filters might be a bit overwhelming, so my advice is keep it simple. Try adding 2, maybe 3 filters and see what kind of players that results in. If you don't like those players, you can always add a filter or try changing one out. Just don't overdo it at the start. So for example, if I'm looking for a young striker, I'm setting the position, the role that I'm using in my tactic, and an age range. And that's it. Now this narrows down the list quite a bit, but it's still a lot to go through. So how do we find the best players? Well, my technique is quite simple. You switch your view to general info and sort the list by the world reputation column. This is a general rating for how much of a name the player has made for himself in your FM save. And from that point, you request a scout report for the players with the highest world reputation. To request multiple scout reports at once, right-click on all the selected players and go to Reports to select either Scout Player or Fully Scout Player. Now if these players are still not what you want, you can either change your filters or look at the players with a half a star lower in world reputation. That's how easy manually searching for players can be. Now what makes this so great is that you have full control over the type of players you'll be scouting, and the pool of players that you'll be looking at is as big as it can get. The downside, however, is that a player who hasn't made a name for himself yet might fly under the radar. So if you want to find that wonder kid hidden in the depths of Colombia, this next method is more for you. Now before we go to that first scouting method, if you liked the video up until this point, please tap that like button. And if you want to see more content like this, you can subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be posting a lot more tutorials, experiments and challenges in FM, so stay tuned. Now the final and most detailed scouting method is using recruitment focuses. Now I can already hear the complaints. You said this would be easy. I don't want to set up a scouting network. Alright, I hear you. Recruitment focuses can be a bit complicated, but I'll show you the easiest way to set them up so you can find your own wonder kids. Now to set up a recruitment focus, we'll head over to Scouting and select Recruitment Focus. You can see that I've already set up a few in my save, but for this video, let's make another one. Let's click on Create Recruitment Focus. The first thing we'll have to select is the position and role that we'll be looking for. You can select these manually, or you can select any position from the current tactic. The second step is to set our filters. Now similar to the advice I gave at the searching players manually method is to not make this too complex. Some basic filters work just fine and actually help you increase the pool of players you can choose from. Set your minimum current and potential ability filters, as well as your age range filter. Don't be too strict on these. Give your scouts some room to work in. So for example, if I want to be looking for wonder kids, I'll set my age range to be between 15 and 18. I'll set my minimum current ability to be only half a star, just so I can have a look at any player that's not quite there yet. And finally, I'll set the minimum potential ability to be 4 stars, so I can have a look at any player that's showing some promise. A crucial yet often overlooked filter is the area filter. This is the one filter I would say you do have to be specific in. Leaving it at any creates a huge scouting area, which will make your scouts take a very long time to come back to you with any reports. It is best to set a specific region or even individual countries. Finally, we need to set the priority of this recruitment focus. Need a player quick? Pick top priority. Want to keep looking for the foreseeable future? Pick ongoing. Otherwise, leave it at standard. Now all that's left to do... Editor Rowan stepping in here. What I forgot to mention was that you need at least one scout for every recruitment focus you make. So make sure you have enough scouts before you start making loads of recruitment focuses. Now, all that's left to do is click confirm and we've got our very own recruitment focus. You'll be getting reports in your inbox on the progress of your recruitment focus. Or you can look at them from the recruitment focus screen by selecting the specific recruitment focus. Here you can see the current recommendations, all the players that just missed out on your filters, and all the players that are currently being looked at by your scouts. And that's how you set up a basic recruitment focus. This method helps you find those real hidden gems, but does take a bit more time to set up. Whether that's worth it, I'll leave that up to you. Now that we've looked at the free scouting methods, let me know in the comments down below which method you're gonna be using in your FM save. If you liked the video, don't forget to tap that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next one.